Picture this. A deer lies trapped in a wire snare, blood staining the grass beneath it, and a stranger kneels down to set it free without a second thought.
For 3 full seconds after being freed, the deer doesn't bolt into the trees. Instead, it turns and stares directly into the stranger's eyes, unmoving.
Every single comment section under videos like this one calls that moment gratitude, as if the animal understood exactly what kindness was and chose to say thank you. But researchers who spend their careers studying wild animal behavior say that word, gratitude, might be the single biggest misunderstanding in the history of human-animal encounters. Here's what almost nobody explains clearly enough, Lei. Wild animals do not read human intentions the way 2 humans read each other's faces and words.
What these animals actually run instead is a threat detection system that is far older than language itself, built purely for survival, not for social understanding.
Every second an animal stands near a human, its brain is scanning posture, distance, eye contact, movement speed, and the tone of every sound it hears.
On top of all of that, the brain is cross-referencing memory, comparing this human, right now, against every single human it has ever encountered before.
Deep inside that brain sits the amygdala, a small structure that is almost entirely responsible for processing fear and deciding whether danger is present. In a trapped or injured animal, that amygdala goes into overdrive, firing constantly, because from the animal's point of view, its life is in danger. That overdrive floods the body with adrenaline and cortisol, 2 stress hormones whose entire purpose is to prepare the animal for one outcome: immediate escape.
Field studies on foxes living near hunting grounds show a strikingly consistent pattern. These animals react to almost any human presence with instant, maximum intensity fear.
Crows studied in areas with heavy hunting activity show the exact same heightened alarm response, scattering the moment any unfamiliar human silhouette comes into view. Compare that to animals living inside protected reserves with repeated, harmless human contact. Their measured stress response is noticeably slower and far weaker overall.
That difference is not emotion and it is not personality. It is measurable data being processed by the nervous system in real time, encounter by encounter. So if these animals genuinely have no concept of kindness, then why does a trapped or frightened domestic cat ever eventually stop struggling against a rescuer?
Researchers have a specific name for the mechanism behind this, Kalev. They call it threat reevaluation, and it happens far faster than most people would expect. When a rescuer approaches in slow, small, predictable movements,
avoiding direct, prolonged eye contact matters too, because in the animal kingdom, a fixed stare is very often read as a predator preparing to strike.
even tone of voice plays a measurable role. A low, steady, and consistent voice signals far less threat than sudden, sharp, or unpredictable sound patterns.
As those calm signals repeat consistently, the animal's nervous system genuinely begins updating its ongoing risk assessment, moment by moment, in real time.
Here's the important distinction. The animal is never deciding that a particular human is inherently good, kind, or trustworthy in any moral sense.
What it is actually recalculating, second by second, is one simple ongoing question: whether this specific, immediate threat in front of it is decreasing. Biologists who study elephants on protected savanna reserves have documented something genuinely remarkable about how quickly these animals can adjust their behavior. Researchers studying dolphins from small research vessels have recorded very similar rapid behavioral shifts happening across only a handful of repeated encounters. Even certain corvid species, including crows and ravens, show this same flexible pattern of adjusting behavior instead of relying purely on fixed instinct. What's remarkable is the speed. These highly intelligent species can shift their entire behavioral response within a matter of minutes, not days or weeks. Their brains are constantly comparing the present moment against a detailed, stored memory bank built from every meaningful past encounter with a human being.
Once that internal comparison consistently favors safety over danger, the fear response measurably weakens.
Now here comes the part of this story that genuinely surprises even experienced, seasoned researchers who have spent decades studying animal cognition.
As of right now, there is no solid scientific evidence proving that wild animals experience gratitude in anything resembling the way humans experience it.
True gratitude requires something called theory of mind, genuinely understanding that another individual had a choice available and deliberately chose to help you. That kind of understanding sits at an extremely high cognitive bar, one that requires self-awareness and genuine social reasoning most species simply don't demonstrate.
Outside of a small number of great ape species studied closely in controlled settings, no wild animal has clearly demonstrated this ability under real scientific testing.
But what researchers have documented instead, in careful long-term studies, is arguably even more fascinating than the simple idea of animal gratitude.
Elephants living in long-term sanctuaries have been recorded remembering the specific sound of individual human voices for well over a full decade.
Crows living near cities don't just recognize individual human faces on SiteMo. They actively remember and categorize specific people as safe or dangerous.
Even more remarkably, crows teach this exact information to other crows in their group, including younger crows who were never personally harmed themselves.
Dolphins studied near small fishing harbors measurably change how closely they approach a specific boat after just a handful of consistently positive encounters.
None of these documented behaviors are gratitude in the human emotional sense, Pence. There's something evolution built to be even more practically useful for survival.
What these different cat breeds are actually building, encounter after encounter, is a constantly updating mental map of exactly which humans are safe and which are not.
So the next time a rescued wild animal turns and looks a human directly in the eye, remember what's actually happening inside its brain.
That lingering gaze is not a thank you, and it was never meant to communicate anything resembling human-style appreciation or emotional warmth.
What you're actually witnessing is one of the fastest, most sophisticated threat assessment systems found anywhere in the entire animal kingdom, working in real time.
In that exact instant, the animal's brain has simply concluded that this particular human, right now, is the safest thing currently in the forest.
And once you understand that single idea clearly, it genuinely changes how you should think about every wild animal encounter you ever witness again. It's exactly why experienced wildlife rescuers are trained to move slowly, keep their hands low, and never rush toward a frightened, injured animal. It's also why they deliberately avoid direct eye contact, since a fixed predatory stare can instantly undo minutes of careful, calm approach work. And it's why trained rescuers consistently keep their voice calm and steady, understanding that unpredictable sound is read by animals as a warning sign.
Because trained professionals understand that the brain in front of them isn't quietly asking whether this particular human is a kind or good person.
It's asking something far more urgent and far more immediate. A single survival question running on a loop inside its nervous system. That question is simply this: Toe, am I still in real danger right now? Or is it finally safe enough to stop fighting and rest?
Once you fully understand that underlying question, the popular myth of animal gratitude starts to look a lot less scientific and a lot more comforting.
It was never really about the heart at all, Toe. It was always about the brain, running millions of years of hard-earned evolutionary survival programming. Across every single species researchers have studied so far, this same underlying pattern of learned threat assessment keeps showing up again and again.
That consistency across so many unrelated species is exactly what makes this discovery so compelling to researchers working across completely different fields of biology.
Maybe the real lesson buried inside all of this research isn't about emotion at all, but about how trust actually gets built in nature. The strongest connection between humans and wild animals was never emotion alone. It was always trust, earned slowly through consistent, predictable action.
Every calm gesture, every slow movement, and every quiet moment of patience is quietly rewriting that animal's internal map of who can be trusted.
So the next time an animal looks back at you before disappearing into the trees, know that you didn't earn its thanks, hero. You earned its trust.